What's up? What's up? What's up, team? How's everyone doing? Oh my gosh, look, we already have 4 people with us. What's up, Mario? Hi, Jenny. Heather, Silvana, Holmes in Orlando. Guess who's with me today? Holmes in Orlando. I have a little bit of a superstar in your neck of the woods.
Oh, stop that.
Oh, stop that.
Oh, stop that.
So we're going to keep it real because that's all that 2 people from the Northeast can do. I have today joining me my business partner. He's an investor, a property manager, and a top producing agent. And he's just an amazing musician. If you haven't heard him sing, then you are missing out. You need to come and prospect with this man so that you can hear him sing. Mr. David Allen Knight.
You're too nice. You're too nice, Jessica Nelson. Coach Nelson.
You know the real Coach Nelson is my dad, right?
No, tell us about that place. Most people don't know your story.
Well, my dad was always a coach like my whole life, and he also did construction. So my childhood, I would go with him all day to construction sites like a little girl, going to all these construction sites. And then at night, or in the afternoon, I should say, he coached women's softball and men's baseball. Because in those times, schools didn't really acknowledge women's sports. Like Title IX wasn't really a thing. True. So, even though he was the baseball coach, they were like, hey, these girls want to play softball. Go coach them.
Right.
And, now he won 2 Big East championships with Seton Hall University. Yep. 12 years he was with Rutgers University. He took them to the Big Ten championship. Rutgers. And now, Rutgers. And which is huge in Boston because, we send a lot of players to the Patriots, Rutgers. And now he's the coach of the Greek Olympic team. So everyone thought I was going to follow my dad's footsteps and become a coach because it's kind of like the legacy. But instead, I coach real estate.
And you do, and you're improving your skills and your coaching abilities every single day because you actually really care about the people that you work with and the people that you affect. And I'm happy. I'm real happy to be your partner in this game we call not only life but real estate. And here we are. This is our first episode. We're keeping it real.
We are keeping it real, y'all. So David and I, how long ago did we meet?
I think it was 2017. 2017 in Las Vegas, Superstar Retreat, Mike Ferry.
That sounds right to me. I remember I was with my best friend, Jillian.
Yes.
Who we were both brand new. We were both like doe-eyed deer there, and you were so kind to us because you were already producing. And a lot of the top producing agents, they move fast and they're like, you're nobody. We don't know who you are, but you took the time and you helped us and kind of taught us what prospecting was.
I introduced you to the game, I guess. And listen, you folks, you ladies were pleasant to look at. And I wanted to chill with you guys for a little bit there. And got to meet you guys. That was awesome. Here we are today, 2025. Oh, my God, right?
And now we're a bunch of old broads. I'm just kidding. We're not that old. But if you guys don't know Jillian.
You're mature.
Yes, we've matured. That's true. Yes. If you guys don't know Jillian, her Instagram is DJ Illian. Absolutely stunning gal. She was doing great in real estate, but she wanted to follow her heart to become a DJ.
Okay.
Which you used to be a musician as well, right?
Yes. Yep. DJ Davey D, WXPL way back in the day, spinning the wheels and teals on WXPL 91.3 FM.
And he still has that voice. When he gets on the phone and cold calls, people listen to him. They answer him.
Hey, it's all fun. It's all the game. It really, really is. But you got to play the game seriously because every appointment's worth $10, $15, $20,000.
Yeah, especially in your market. You guys are starting to have a lot of $1 million homes in Orlando, right?
We are, especially in the last 4 or 5 years. Yeah, since COVID, everything's doubled in price. It's crazy. It really, really is. Lake Nona, Winter Park, Winter Garden, and yes, it's all good. I love it.
Guys, drop the market that you're in so that everyone watching can know where to send you a referral. You know, I see Tiffany. I think Tiffany's out in, I want to say, Nashville. I see Alex. Alex is up in California. Wherever you're joining us from, drop your market so that we know how to send you a referral.
I'm down with that.
Dave is in Orlando. I'm in Dallas, Texas. He said Victoria, BC. Awesome.
BC, British Columbia. Whoop, whoop.
Justin, what is the average price in Victoria, Canada, British Columbia? He's probably going to say something like
2.5 million.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And here we are schlubbing away.
My family's from Toronto. Talking about crazy prices up there. Holy smokes. Crazy.
Tiffany's in Nashville. Yeah, he said 1.3 million is his average sale.
I believe it.
Man, Justin, you're killing it. So, Justin, how many homes a year?
420 here in Orlando. 420.
420.
Yes.
That's your average in Orlando, 420?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good, actually.
Winter Park, it's much higher.
The real Alex Aaron joined us. Alex, you're from Queens, right? What's your average price point out in Queens? I love this. Keep dropping your stuff, guys. Get to know each other. That's what we do this for, so that you can get to know each other, so that we can connect. You know, our world is changing. Remember when we all used to go to like happy hours? Dave, you remember happy hours?
I sure do.
When's the last time you went to one?
Who the hell goes to happy hour?
I know. I feel like that's something that realtors, like you guys probably remember, like 2, 3, 4, or 5 years ago, we were at a happy hour like 3 nights a week. Your lender was doing one. Your title guy was doing one.
Right. And, you know, when I first started, when I broke into this business in 2014 as a property management company owner, I would go to happy hours 2 to 3 times a day and basically, you know, get to know the world, get to know each agent. And that's how I built my property management business, by going to happy hours. Now, if I go to one now, it's boring because it's pretty much, I hate to say it, but unproductive agents at those events. Pretty much.
Sad but true. Sad but true. But look at all the top producers we have online with us right now. So
that is cool. That's why we're here. We're here to give, not to take. We're here to grow this community, and we appreciate everybody who's on board here tonight.
So the new age happy hour is being on Instagram, drinking water or coffee, right? Cheers.
There you go. Or tea with honey. Tea with honey.
Cheers.
The vocal cords, nice and moist.
You got to sing for him, Dave. You got to give him a little something.
Well,
you guys want to hear Dave sing? I want to see some fires in the chat if you want to hear Dave sing.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Don't get me going now.
They're dropping the fires. You got to sing, bro.
I hear that. I got Eddie Van Halen in the background there, one of my heroes. I've got, here's one right here. I've had this since 1988.
Wow.
And this record changed my family's life, changed our family's legacy. And this album went on to sold 60 million. 60 million. And in the back, I have it right here. Davey D, DG Davey D, WXPL. Special thanks to.
No way.
Yeah.
Tell us more about that. So you worked on that album?
Hanging tough. New Kids on the Block. For those who didn't know, New Kids on the Block started in my basement, 10 Melville Ave in Dorchester, Massachusetts. Maurice Starr, who was originally from DeLand, Florida, walked into our family's life in 1984. Donnie Wahlberg was the first recruit. Back then they were called Nine Nook. Donnie was very good friends with my brother Christopher, and he was also in the boys' church choir, school choir at Trotter School, the elementary school. But Jordan and Donnie went to different middle schools, and they lost touch with each other. But Donnie knew that we had a Shetland pony. We were the only family with a big yard. It was like 2 acres almost in Dorchester. That's huge. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's really big.
We had a Shetland pony, and they drove up and down the streets of Dorchester looking for this pony. And finally, they found the pony, came up to the house, knocked on the door. Donnie asked me, "You're Dave, right?" Because we all went to school with each other. I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Where's your brother Jordan? I got to talk to him." And he had his manager there, this lady by the name of Mary Alford. And I got Jordan, and they jumped on the car, went to Roxbury and to meet Maurice Starr. Jordan came back 2 hours later. Mom, I'm in this no rope, just like No Edition. It's going to be huge. And my brother John's like, "What about me?" My brother John. So
oh my God.
My mother took John, put him in the car, and took her to Roxbury to go to Maurice's house. And when Maurice met my brother John, he said, "You're much better looking than your brother Jordan. You're in the group too." And they say the rest is history. That's 1984. All these years later, we're still doing it. It's amazing.
I had no idea you were actually. I had no idea you were actually in the New Kids on the Block. Like
I wasn't. No, my two younger
times.
brothers. My two younger brothers.
That's so cool.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
So cool.
Do I go around telling people that?
No, you don't. I didn't realize that Jordan Knight was your brother.
You're lying. Come on.
I had no idea. None.
Now you know. Now you know.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
Are y'all close?
Kind of, sort of. Yeah.
And he lives by you, right? He's in Florida?
No, everyone's in Massachusetts. I'm the only one who had the gonads to leave, strike my own claim, 40 acres and a mule.
I asked this guy this week, I said, "Hey, you want to go in on a deal with me in Massachusetts?" He goes, "No."
That was
he left
me.
And he is never going back.
Not me. The deal's right. You never know. But hey, buying property in Massachusetts or any blue state to be a landlord, not a good idea.
Yeah, there's some complications.
Yep.
I have to say, I have apartment buildings all across the country, and that one I have in Boston does pretty well. But it's a blue collar building. It's not something you would want to live in, right? It's
Is it next to the beach? Is it on the beach?
Section 8 is like, you can count on the money coming in every month. So
yes, that's big time in Boston. There's no doubt about it in those blue states. No doubt about it.
Yep. But it's a certain type of product. But so what questions do you guys have for us? We're on here today to help you and do more deals. We're just chopping it up, having fun, making jokes. I bet you didn't know you were in the midst of a celebrity. I didn't know. DJ David D.
That's a long time ago. I'm a former choir boy, the whole 9 yards. I was signed to CBS Records back in the day too.
Did you used to watch Ray Donovan?
You're talking to a one-hit wonder here. A one-hit wonder.
I think it's more than that.
Had one single on the charts for 10 weeks. You can look it up. Homework, the band, special kind of lady. Maurice Starr was our producer, our manager as well. Again, he's from DeLand, Florida. Moved to Boston with his brothers to make it big. Started New Edition in 1982. Had one huge hit called Candy Girl. Huge hit.
Oh, yeah.
Candy
Girl. Is a huge hit.
You are my world.
So when did you decide you wanted to leave music and get into real estate?
Well, when I decided I actually wanted to have money on a regular basis and have wealth. Hello. I never listen. I've been in music since I was like 8 years old, but I never bought into being. I've been in about 20 bands in all my days. I started in the Boston rock and roll scene when I was in 8th grade. I was 13 years old. And but never really bought into being in a cover band and doing the bar scene. Never bought into it. So when did I decide to be in real estate versus music? I've been in both all my life. You still
perform sometimes, right?
Yes, I got another big. Yeah, so I have a tribute band called Great Scott. Great Scott. It's a tribute to Stone Temple Pilots. I love me some Scott Weiland. Love Stone Temple Pilots. So we do like House of Blues. We do bike festivals, stuff like that. It's pretty cool. I mean, literally in front of hundreds and hundreds of people. It's really cool.
So I'm sure there's some people watching this right now that maybe you are thinking about, hey, do I leave whatever you've been doing and jump into real estate full time? Maybe I'm going to pick Dave's mind about this, his brain about it, but maybe you have some questions you might want to ask him, like, how did you get started? Dave, you said you wanted consistent money. How did you find consistent money?
Yeah, so I was in the gym business previously. I was an eighth guy in America to buy a Planet Fitness franchise. I've always been enterprising, and I've always associated myself with other people that may have been our entrepreneurs or maybe further down a journey than I am. And I went to a real estate boot camp in 2005, and like 2 months later, I put like 4 multifamilies under contract. Pushed them all through, 0 down, 0 documents. Those were the days. It was the wild, wild west. And acquired 4 properties, 3 of which were multifamilies, all near Providence College, and started renting out to students and became known as Dave, the student apartment guy. That was back in 2005. Long
so you started off as an investor then?
Started out as investor landlord. Yeah. That's how I started. Okay. Yeah. And then
when did you decide that you wanted to start selling?
When I wanted to make more money and real money. That's where I chose to become a listing agent. And to be honest, Coach, last year was like my first year where at the age of 58, where I dedicated myself to doing one thing.
Which was?
Get an appointment every day.
That's
I took
amazing.
all the other noise out of my life. Number 1 was no alcohol. I quit alcohol. That was the number 1 thing that I did, okay, to change my life. So then leading a disciplined lifestyle, but making 1 appointment every single day. Doesn't mean I'm going to get a listing every day, but it means that pretty much I'll get a listing every week. And to me, that's worth $11,000.
So if you're getting a listing every week,
pretty much
sorry.
Yeah.
I want to make sure everyone really understands what he just said. If he's setting 1 listing appointment 5 days a week, that's his goal every day. Even if he's terrible, even if the clients are unmotivated, he is at the very least. How much does that look like? $40,000 a month?
For me this year, Dave? It will be, yeah. For me this year, it will be. I'm not hesitant. I made $350,000 last year. Not hesitant about it. Made $350,000 last year. The first year that I concentrated on being a professional listing agent. No flipping.
So you're on track to do $500,000 this year.
No property management. Just listing property. Ladies and gentlemen, the easiest money in the real estate business is not flipping homes. It's not wholesaling homes. It's getting on appointments, listing properties at a price that will cause it to sell. That's the easiest money. Bottom line.
From your mouth to everyone's ears, right? Everyone I talk to right now is like, because the market's difficult, right, Dave? They're saying the opposite of what you just said. They're like, oh, I'm done being a realtor. I'm going to go be an investor. I'm going to be a wholesaler. And it's really interesting because you just said the truth. You said, hey, I was an investor. I did multifamily. I've been a landlord. I've done everything that you guys want to do. I've done it. And the money is in listing property.
The money is listing property. Yes, it is. And growing.
How many listings can you have at one time, Dave?
I've had over 10.
So on my board, is it fair to say if you hired more staff, you could have 100 listings at one time if you wanted?
If I had enough lead sources and if I duplicated myself, yes. Yes. It's called leverage.
Yeah. What other aspect of this business could you do that, really?
I couldn't.
I mean, I don't think you could do 100 buyers at one time.
Absolutely not. I'll, I'll deal with maybe 8 buyer controlled sales this year, and that's on my business plan. I've already gotten 4 out of the way, so I will.
Mm.
Yeah, almost halfway through. I'll do 8 this year. Yep. Looking at my
Pretty
business.
amazing.
Yep.
So come on, guys, don't be shy. Ask questions.
I
We
was
have an
wondering, I'm
amazing
seeing a little
powerhouse
thing moving
agent.
back and forth. I'm like, what do you got going on over there? So, Coach, we are products of the Northeast. We left the Northeast. You left for Texas. I left for Florida. I came here in 2010 to strike my claim. I burnt the ships behind me.
Yes.
And there was no going back to Massachusetts. My mother asked me, when are you coming home? We miss you. Ma, I miss you too. I come home in November, New Kids on the Block shows, Boston Celtic championships. That's all I want to when I come home. Ma, just I don't want to do it. I love Florida. But the reason why I came here was for the opportunity. And yes, I burned the ships behind me because I didn't want to go back home. I had to prove to my family that I could make it and support my family because after my divorce, my kids came here to Orlando. So I had to find a way to make it. And Coach, your story is very unique. Most people don't know about it. Why don't you take a few minutes to tell people about your story starting at 0 in a brand new market? Go ahead.
Yeah. I think some of you guys know I was in a relationship where I was dependent on my partner to provide. And a lot of women see that as like the goal. But what I realized was I saw it as becoming a very fancy cage. You know, you can have all these things, but you don't have control. What happens if he gets sick? What happens if he trades me in for the newer model? What happens if he gets sick of my shit? Right? I have no control over my finances when I'm completely dependent upon another person. And I'm actually learning now. I used to think it was just women. It's starting to happen now for men, where men are dependent on the women they're with too. I'm not judging. I'm just learning that it happens, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're watching this, try not to judge me. I'm just being very open and vulnerable with you. I was about 37 years old, and this is the time in a woman's life where they realize I'm not going to look like this forever. Things are changing. Mm-hmm. And, you're not in a corporate environment or you don't have a long history of a job. How do you reinvent yourself to make any substantial money legally, ethically at 37 years old? There is no other industry other than real estate. Like, what other industry other than real estate? It doesn't matter your age, doesn't matter your race, your level of education. Anyone can pick up the phone and make $1 million in 1 year. Any one of us. Somebody drop a fire in the chat and tell me if there's another industry that's capable of doing that, because I have yet to find it.
Right.
So what I did at 37 is I met David and a few other people at a Mike Ferry event, and I hired a coach because if you guys look at, if you do a study, whatever market you're in, I don't care if you're in Oklahoma or Manhattan or Beverly Hills, it doesn't matter. The top 3 agents in every market, at least 2 of them are coached by Mike Ferry at some point in their career.
The Godfather.
He's the Godfather of real estate. Whether or not you like him, he's the Godfather. 100%.
Yep.
Madrino or Padrino. He's the Padrino.
The OG.
So I saw that like all these agents in my market were on stage. I was from Hoboken, New Jersey. You probably know Michael Klein, Greg Taylor, Jill Biggs, Patrick Southern. All of these guys were on Mike Ferry, and gals were on Mike Ferry's stage, and they were like the top 1, 2, 3, and 4 agent. And I was like, if it's working for them, unless I'm a complete lazy ass, why can't it work for me?
So you took action, you signed up.
Yes, I signed up immediately. It was actually one of the last things I had asked my partner to pay for. He never had problem buying me handbags and shoes.
Right.
I had to get creative with how I had him invest in my career.
When
right?
you say partner, you mean husband? Talk to me about that. I don't follow.
We were never legally married. We were only engaged.
Oh,
I would call him my husband simply because he was in the process of adopting my children when he passed away. We had shared bank accounts. We had shared properties. I was on one of his life insurance policies.
right.
So I don't know. I guess I felt like we related to each other like husband and wife, but we were never legally married.
I gotcha.
So around that time, I hired a coach, and I just felt like I really wanted to see what I could do without a safety net. And I told him, I said, I love you. This is not anything against you, but I want to make it on my own. And if I make it, by the time I'm 40, I'm coming back to you. Unfortunately, he didn't make it. He passed away when I was 39 unexpectedly. And it's just kind of crazy that I had this foresight, Dave, that I knew something was going to happen with that. He was not sick. He used to run marathons. Like, I don't know if God spoke to my heart or what, but like, had I not gotten involved in coaching, had I not learned the skill of what to say and how to say it to list property and volume, I would have been dead in the water.
Yes.
Dead. So I went to this new market where nobody knew me because, quite frankly, I didn't want to be embarrassed by everybody I knew being like, oh, why are you poor? Like,
why Texas? Why Texas? Tell us.
When you come to Texas, you see freeways and new construction, and it just doesn't stop. It goes and it goes and it goes.
Right.
And I said, this is like the land of milk and honey.
Yeah.
For a realtor, and I think that Orlando's probably somewhat similar. I mean, there's just development upon development. And when you're a realtor, that's what you're looking for. Where are people moving to? Where is there a lot of transactions going on? Where are there a lot of jobs?
Positive migration.
Yes.
Texas and Florida is where it's at.
I also was, at that point, I was a single mom. And I don't know if you guys know this during COVID, but like parents were forced into, like homeschooling their kids in some of the blue states. And I just was like, this is not a reality for me. Like me homeschooling and working is in Texas, the schools were open. So,
right.
And I hit the ground running. Everything I did as a brand new agent in Texas is the blueprint for what any of you need to do a lot of business. It's not complicated. I got on the phone Monday through Friday, and keep in mind, I had my kids. So like I had a limited schedule, guys. Like I couldn't work 7 days a week. I could work Monday through Friday, school drop off to school pickup. Those are the hours I had.
You had to be productive in those hours.
Yep.
Bottom line, you couldn't goof around.
Yep. No goofing around.
Right.
So I made 50 contacts a day, and 50 contacts a day back then was very easy because there wasn't a lot of like robo killers and all that. If you're going to do 50 contacts today, please DM me and I will give you access to a dialer that can help you do that. 9 out of the 10 dialers that are out in the marketplace today, you are only going to make 5 contacts an hour. You do not have 10 hours to get to 50. You will kill yourself. Yep. I'm just kidding. You won't hurt yourself, but it's a long time. So if you guys want access to a dialer that can help you get there faster, DM me. I'm happy to give you, insight. It's a little bit of a secret. So you got to make 50 contacts a day. And from there, what David said earlier, how did I get to 52 listings my first year? I did 1 appointment a day. And I was terrible. My closing rate was like 30%. When you talk about the worst appointment, that was me. Will you cut your commission? Yes. Will you list it at my price? Sure.
Yay.
I had 0 skills. When I tell you 0, I mean like 0.
Oh, you want to list it 80 grand above market price? Sure.
Whatever you want.
Yeah.
But we were in a market, luckily for me, because this was 2021, it didn't matter. It was okay. Like it was fine. It was not a problem that I had low skills. The only thing I needed to do was show up and do my job, and eventually I would figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Today, I would suggest if you guys are going to use this blueprint to become successful, you definitely need a role play group or role play partner, because you do have to be more skilled to figure out how to price property, figure out how to have the conversation around commission. So, if you're going to use this blueprint to find success, reach out to Dave. He leads a role play group. He can give you access.
Mm-hmm.
And definitely get your hands on some scripts or a prospecting group of people that are actually doing business.
Whether with us or with another group, 7:30 in the morning, you start doing role play. Be on the phones by 7:50. Start with expired listings. I made $187,000 last year on expired listings. That's a lot of money, ladies and gentlemen. In expired listings, you can get on an appointment pretty much every day. Right, Coach?
Let's be clear about that, because I'll hear people kind of rag on expireds and be like, that's a bad lead source.
I have a lady waiting right now for me to get on an appointment with her. She's waiting for me on Zoom. She's in California. She can wait because you people are more important, to be quite honest with you.
How amazing to have the skills that we can actually have clients waiting on us. That's real leverage in the game right there.
Yeah. And if she doesn't want to wait, oh well. I've got 2 appointments lined up for tomorrow. It's all good. But Dave, you're going to do that? Yes. I will.
Dave has the skills where so when you get really good at this, like at the level that Dave is at, they need you more than you need them. The hardest part of your job is getting their attention to show them that, because they're getting 100 phone calls, right? Yes. But the minute you actually get their focus and they actually listen to you, they're like, oh yeah, you're the one. Yep.
You're the guy.
You're the one. Yep. You right there.
Yeah.
So the better you guys get at that skill of getting their attention, the more you're going to be able to list property. And how you're going to do that is either get into a role play group. If you don't already have one, get into a prospecting room, and then get scripts that actually work. If your script isn't working, stop using it. Try something different.
Right.
What scripts are you currently using, Dave? I'm seeing you book a lot, like at least 1 appointment a day, if not 2.
Well, thanks to listening to you, Coach Nelson, I'm actually more appreciative with everybody that I'm speaking with. And now it's a little combination of what you're saying and with the traditional Mike Ferry scripts, because that's all I know before I truly started, prospecting with you. And what I really appreciate about you is that you've come up with Mike Ferry as the base, but you've changed it and you've made it more palatable versus more of Mike Ferry's a driver. And it's in his scripts that he's a driver. I'm a driver too. And I'm rough around the edges because of my upbringing. I'm from Boston. It is what it is. All right.
There's a girl. I hear you.
It's Dunkin' Donuts and a FU and a Crulla. Thank you very much. Okay. So listen, role playing with you and listening to you, how you converse with people. You're in Texas. You're not in the Northeast anymore. You have to adapt to that, and you've done tremendously well. So just listening to other people, you'll bring it in, you'll consume it, and then eventually you'll have one thing to do, and that's spit it back out to other people in a positive way. So I thank you for that. So start with Mike Ferry, guys. Mike Ferry scripts. He's the godfather.
I appreciate everything you just said. So we have 2 comments here. One is, I've been using script with the CINC community. Very helpful. I'm not familiar with that. Are you, Dave? The CINC community?
No.
Can you share a little bit more about that community? Educate us.
Yes.
And then the other comment is, we've been trying to get Jess's scripts. I know, Tiffany. I'm sorry. I'm supposed to get everything out on the school community. It's just taking a little longer than expected because I'm still in production. And we've been listing a lot of properties. We actually listed 5 in 5 days in May so far with that dialer. I'm telling you guys, get after me about that dialer. If you are a cold caller, you remember Mickey's Mouse-Tools? You ever watch that? The Mouse-Tools?
No.
Anybody know Mickey's Mouse-Tools? The whole premise of the show was that something was broken and all you needed was the right tool. So
missed that one, sorry.
Your kids
I was sleeping in back then. I don't know.
So if any of you remember Mickey's Mouse-Tools, I used to watch this with my kids all the time. It had like a catchy jingle. It was like hot dog, hot diggity dog. Anyhow, I think of this dialer kind of like, so the premise of the show is that there's nothing that can't be fixed. Anything that's broken, you just need the right tool to fix it. And this dialer has been fixing the problem of not making enough contacts. If you are having a problem with not talking to enough people, you need a better tool. And if you're not setting enough appointments, generally it's because you're not talking to enough motivated people. Correct. We cannot motivate an unmotivated seller, right, Dave?
True. Yep.
So she said it's CINCagentblueprint.com. Okay, I'll check that out. I'm not familiar with it.
All right.
Thanks for sharing that. Yeah, I think that the biggest difference between like the scripts that I'm using and maybe some of the other ones out there, I talk to people the way that I want to be talked to.
I hear that. And you know what, Coach? This is, again, what I truly appreciate about you is that you're not afraid to put your own spin, your own melody, your own lyrics on top of what has been known to be gospel, which is Mike Ferry scripts. But this is what you have to understand, ladies and gentlemen out there. When there's 100 agents calling the same people, they're all hearing the same thing. So when do you plan on interviewing the right agent for the job of selling your home? And they're like, oh, here's another one. So what do you say, Coach Nelson, at the beginning of your expired script? I want to hear it, please.
So we want to talk to people in a way that if we got the phone call, we would stop and talk to them, right? And you want to say something that gets people to answer you. Hey, Dave, ring, ring. Do I have the pleasure of speaking with Mr. David Allen Knight?
Yeah, this is me. Who's this?
You know what, Mr. Knight, I really appreciate you picking up my call. My name is Jessica Nelson. Have you had a lot of agents harassing you today?
Are you another realtor?
I am, sir. Listen, is this an error? I noticed your home over there on 123 Main Street, and I just can't believe it's off the market and didn't sell. Is that true?
Yeah, that's true. I know. Yeah.
Why do I ask that question?
Get them talking versus hanging up on you.
And what do they love to do when I ask that?
Yeah. Is that accurate? Is that true? I know. I hate my agents. And then what do you say? You know what? I agree with you. Don't you deserve better service? Dude, I started using that. I love that. It gets them right on your team. Like, I feel for your situation. I know there's so many dingbats out there that, quote unquote, call themselves realtors. Oh my God, we're loaded with losers in this profession. We have to stand out as the winners because we are, Jessica. We are the winners in this game because we've been at it a long time. We actually want to be professionals. We train to be professionals. We just don't wing it. But you're absolutely right. People want to be spoken to the way that we want to be spoken to. Continue, please.
David hit the nail on the head. They spill like a broken bottle of wine. If you ask them the right questions, you almost got to get them off the phone. Okay, I got to go now. They will sit there and tell you about everything they hated about that agent, the reasons why they're not hiring the guy that came over yesterday because they think he's a ding dong, the reasons why they're actually moving. They're going to sit there and tell you all of these things, but you have to give them the opportunity. So what is the pain point? The pain point is that they're fucking pissed off.
That's right.
They're pissed off. People have been coming. Think about this. Especially if you guys have kids, right? Or if you have nice clothes and nice jewelry in your house. Do you want a bunch of strangers coming in and out of your property? Do you want your pictures of all of your crap all over the internet? And you still have to live there. You don't get to go and leave. Like, okay, we didn't like that for a month, but it's all right. We're moving. No, now you're stuck here and the whole world can see inside your house.
Right.
Do you really think that these people are happy? No, they're fucking pissed off and they want someone to complain to. And the first person that they feel like, hey, this person has my back, they get me, I'm heard, I'm understood, they're going to hire you.
People want to be heard.
Drop
People
the
want to be
mic.
able to bend. But at the same time, you're also pre-qualifying them, okay, with if we did sell the home, tell me where are you going to move next?
Yeah.
There's got to be a where, there's got to be a why, and there's got to be a when. If they're just pissed off to be pissed off and they're just testing the market, can you actually really help them?
No, we
No, you
cannot help
can't.
people who are just testing the market.
Yep.
What we're looking for in the conversation is,
Where are you going to move next?
and the
How soon do you have to be there?
the motivation.
Yes. Where, why, and when?
What Dave and I are really looking for when we're talking to strangers is, what is the true motivation? Because sometimes, and a newer prospector is going to fall into this trap, right? Oh, if you bring me my price, I'm definitely moving. I'm definitely moving. I have to move. Okay, tell me what's so important about that price. A lot of you are going to run out there and go and list that property, and you're going to be the fourth idiot that it canceled on. See, a trained prospector is going to dig deeper and ask more questions. Okay, why that price though? Dave, you told me you need to get 400 for this home. Can you tell me specifically why that price?
Well, because I put so much money into the home and it's on a cul-de-sac and it's way better than any of my neighbors. And you know, I put stainless steel appliances in the house too, Jessica. So it's got to be worth all that money.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Dave. You have definitely invested a ton of capital. Let me ask you this. Let's say you put the home on the market yourself and you received 15 offers. And the market just showed you after those 15 offers that despite how beautiful it is, the most that you're going to get from today's buyers is $350. What do you do?
Oh, I just stay in the home. I'm not taking that offer. My house is worth 400 grand.
Sure. So I guess I'm just going to have to ask you, why are you even moving?
Well, we're thinking of moving back to North Carolina.
How fun.
Yeah, we want to downsize and get like a log cabin in the woods.
Oh, how fun. That sounds
Maybe
like
have
a dream.
like a moonshine business or something like that.
What a dream that sounds like. Do you have any family currently living in North Carolina?
Oh, no, they've all moved on.
I'm sorry. That's not the dog.
Ladies and gentlemen, here's where we talk about, thunder. We're in Florida. It's 7:33 p.m. here. Starting to rain here every afternoon. We really need the rain here.
The dogs are driving me nuts to go out. Okay, so you have no family in North Carolina.
Zero.
And you have this dream about doing this. I have to ask you an open question. You know, I have a dream about moving to the Caribbean and leaving everything behind. But the reality is I'm not sure I could actually ever do that. Is this a reality to move to North Carolina, or is it more of a dream?
Well, it's something we've been thinking about doing, Jessica.
Sure.
Do you think you can sell my house for 400 grand so I can move?
I know I could sell your house. I'm not sure that the market is going to give you 400. If the most that you could get would be, say, 380, and we could find you in a home in North Carolina that's a little bit less than what you're looking at, what is the price point you've been looking at?
Well, we really haven't started looking yet. We're just thinking about it.
Okay. Well, I guess you're basing the 400,000 on how much you think you need to get to purchase. Is that right?
I just want 400 grand. It's a nice round number.
Understood.
Jessica,
Okay.
are we dealing with somebody who's just a wingbat and has not really thought about it and just testing the market for testing the market's sake? Do we deal with that on a daily basis? Do we hear that?
So, yes. So what I was trying to get to is
Mhm.
something that happens to us a lot. And David, I think he gave me that because he sees it. If
Mhm.
you're a cold caller, you're probably seeing it too. People will say things to us like, "Well, we had this dream of buying land and building a house. Do
Or
you own the
I'm going to
land?"
jump in the
No.
RV and go in the RV for do the RV thing for a year. I'm like, okay. Mm-hmm.
And when you start asking them more questions about the reality of that, you start to hear their voice go from like excitement to like, "I didn't think of that."
Mm.
And we
Oh,
start to figure out just based on their tone of voice and the fact that they haven't actually thought this through, these
mm.
people are not really motivated sellers, and nor are they sellers for 2025. A seller in
Mm-hmm.
2025, they need to move. They
They
have
have
to move.
to move. Have to move.
Yep. So that's great. We can do another role play. What kind of role plays do you guys want to see? I'm happy to talk about motivation all day long because right
Mhm.
now that's all you need to know as a realtor. Dave, how about you've been calling a lot of absentee owners and people evicting tenants.
Evictions.
Yeah,
Yes.
talk to us about the success you're finding there.
So the two top lists that investors call on, and basically they're not really calling, they're sending postcards and letters to. Number one is probate, because 65 of those homes are free and clear, and 75% of them have to sell because the people in the family members want to get their quote unquote piece of the pie. The second biggest list or source that investors mail to is evictions. So I spend time on those two sources every day, and it leads to appointments. I just started calling on evictions 4 weeks ago, and I have my first listing appointment tomorrow. Had one today, but she canceled on me, so I guess she isn't really motivated to sell. So those two sources, which average agents, Jessica, are average agents calling on those two sources?
Absolutely not. That's why I was so impressed you were doing it.
And it's pretty simple. If you have experience with evictions, I've been owning property forever, so I know a few things about the eviction process. And most of these homeowners that own rental property here in Orlando or who are out of state don't know the process, and it's refreshing to hear someone calling them that actually has answers to their questions versus, yeah, I can give you a cash offer. How low will you go? How low will you go? No, we're here to give, not to take. We're here to help people, aren't we, Jessica? Because we
Absolutely, we are.
understand the more people we help, the more money we can get in our bank account. Bottom line, and the better life that we can have, the better we can provide for our children. And Jessica, I want to switch the topic just real quick because we're talking about getting to know you a little bit more. What is your why? Tell us your why.
Oh, that's a big one. I
I
think
know.
what gets me out of bed every day, even when things are hard, is, God gave me another chance. It's another story. I was in a very violent situation and, I left in the middle of the night with the clothes on my back, not a dollar in my pocket, pregnant. I went to a women's shelter. And after having survived that, I realized that God has a purpose for my life. And that purpose is I know I'm going to have a big impact on others in a way that, is going to help other people either get out of addiction, get out of financial trouble, get out of abusive relationships, see a way for themselves.
Yeah.
So every morning I get up and I go out and fight, and I have like a real fighting spirit.
You do.
Because I know I'm here to serve others. He gave me another chance for a reason.
And that comes out when I follow you on YouTube, and then obviously spending time with you. But when I'm watching you on YouTube coach other women, okay, a lot of women think you're a bitch because you stand up for yourself, because you're a strong woman. You remind me so much of my girlfriend Marcia. She stands up for herself, and she's very successful as a salesperson. and she's a strong individual, and she's a believer in God, and she has a lot of faith. And wow, you're not a bitch. You're just a strong woman.
I am. If I was a man, I'd be called savvy or smooth. But because I'm a woman, I'm bitchy, and I'm starting to lean into that. Like,
don't be sorry. Don't be sorry about it.
Yeah.
God gave you a second chance, and you understand you can't be a wimp.
Yeah.
You can, ladies and gentlemen, you cannot be a wimp in this game. People want to hire strong.
They do.
They want to hire strong. You have to be the leader in the room. You have to be the adult. You're the one who has to lay down the law. If you don't, they will walk all over you, and they won't get eventually what they truly want, which is to get the home sold for the most amount of money in the shortest amount of time. You be the leader. You get paid. Work on your skills. Follow us. Join our community. You too, okay, can achieve more success than we do. You can. It's totally up to you. You don't have to have a degree. I mean, I barely graduated high school. I really did. I barely graduated high school. But one thing's for sure, we just follow a simple plan. We play the game. We play numbers every day. As long as I know I make the calls, I see all the ones. See all the ones? Listing appointment, listing appointment, listing appointment, listing appointment. Every single day, I made 2 listing appointments today. I got one woman that's still waiting on Zoom for me to. Isn't this business great?
It is. I love it. Again, if there's any way that we can be of service and value to you guys, just reach out to us. I'm noticing the time. Dave does have to get to his appointment, and my kids they're over here. I don't know if you saw me, but they're over here yelling at me that they're hungry. So, it's an honor and a pleasure to be here. Dave has been my friend and colleague now for 8 years, and we get to be business partners, and he's in Florida and I'm in Texas. Like, it's just so freaking cool.
And that's wicked cool.
Mm-hmm. We'd love to help you, whatever market you're in. If you're looking for, I would say like we're like a brotherhood, sisterhood, like we clown on each other, but like we're there for each other, which is really cool.
Right.
Any final?
I got a tear.
I know.
I got a tear.
We're all going to go out to Arizona when are we going? July?
Dude, the first week of right after July, second week of July. And,
okay.
And then there's the Mike Ferry Superstar Retreat.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm actually gonna hit Vegas early, July 4th weekend. New Kids on the Block are gonna be there. I'm gonna join my mom, my sisters. Nice. Yes, I'm looking forward to that. Then I get to spend time with you and other leaders here and with our organization. So you can expound a little bit about that. And then we got the Mike Ferry Superstar Retreat. So July is busy.
Yeah, July is real busy. Are any of y'all going to the Mike Ferry Retreat? Drop something in the chat if we'll get to see you there. We'd love to connect with you.
Yes.
Send you some referrals, do some role plays. We are role play friendly. You know what's funny? Before I was a realtor and my partner would hear me saying role play, he'd be like, what the hell is she talking about?
Role play, huh?
He'd be like, what are you doing?
Well, so that's how it is in their family, huh?
Well, y'all go have fun. Thank you so much for watching. And Dave, you have anything to say?
Yeah, Coach, can we do this again, like on a regular basis? I'm sure a lot of people would, they just want to hear what it is to be real. Most people that you see on YouTube, they got a teleprompter. It's produced. It's all edited up. See, we want to bring you a show where we're just keeping it real. We can use the word effing. We can say bitch. We can call you a loser. We can call you a winner, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We're not holding back. We can be ourselves. Put in the chat if that's the type of content you want to consume. At the same time, we want to give you value. So again, put that in the chat. Please follow me. Please follow Coach Nelson. We're here to bring value to you every day. Keeping it real right here. It's our new show, ladies and gentlemen. Woo!
Woo! We actually have a question in the chat. Tiffany wants us to role play. I have a realtor.
Oh, that's so simple. You ready? Oh, you have a realtor. I appreciate that. Pretty much everybody knows a realtor. There's only like 20,000 realtors here in town. And, Coach Nelson, or Tiffany, I really don't want to step on any toes. But see, most people, especially in today's market, interview multiple agents. This way they can get multiple opinions on price, marketing, and commission. Are you open to that second opinion, ma'am? There it is, right there. Well, yeah. Well, fantastic. When can we get together to discuss the sales process? I can meet you today, 2 or 4. Easy as that. Most people just say, "Oh, you got a realtor? Okay, click next," and give up. No, hang in there. Keep asking questions. I hope that provides value to you, Tiffany.
Yeah, she dropped the fire and she said, "Thank you."
Yes.
I was going to say something. I lost my train of thought. Oh, what was really great about what Dave said? Question for you, Dave.
Yes.
When you shut up, right? And they say,
Yes.
"Well, yeah." What does it tell you if they say, "No, I'm fine"? What does that really tell you?
That they're not motivated at all and that they're full of shit.
Another great question to ask people to find out if they're even serious. I love to ask people, hey, if you could wave a magic wand and get the price that you want and be closed in the next 30 days, is that something that would work for you? And if they say anything other than heck yes, hang up the phone. You're in the wrong place.
Dude,
because what are we doing here?
Yeah. If you could wave a magic wand, that's awesome.
Because that's what most people, they just want the list price that they had sold in 30 days. Like, we overcomplicate this, like, oh, I have a buyer in Venezuela. All the nonsense we tell people, we overcomplicate it.
Hold on. That's what amateurs say, not professionals. Huge difference, guys, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, 90% of the inventory is sold by 10% of the agents. So you need to choose if you want to be in this profession. Do you want to be average or do you want to be fucking great? And if you want to be great, you have to hang out with the eagles, not with the pigeons. Because the eagles will show you how to soar. And you have to aspire to be an eagle, not a pigeon. And you have to work on your craft every day.
Or you can hang out with Patriots.
There we go, right there. Woo-hoo.
I know. That's why I said that.
Love it.
Well, you guys are awesome. Thank you for asking us questions. We're going to try to do this every Thursday. Chop it up. It always helps to have interaction. So if you guys have questions, bring them to the chat. This is free. So whatever your coach isn't giving you, we'll give it to you. Just ask us.
Because I give it to you. The time is right. Right? A little like that? No.
They're all saying this is amazing. Thank you. I don't know if you can see the comments. Let's go.
All right, let's go. Let's grow. Can I get 2 claps and a Ric Flair? 1, 2, 3.
Woo!